What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the video. Do a little full day vlog. Just woke up 7 o'clock, pretty late. I've been waking up late at like 7, but I've been getting like 9 hours at night. So sleep is key for recovery. That's literally all I do for recovery. I don't do any like saunas, ice baths, any of that. I just sleep. So just hammer your sleep, hammer the basics, and you recover well. But anyways, cooking up breakfast. So gonna go through a full day of eating. Got 2 cool training sessions today, some sprinting, a sick back day, and just some other stuff. So we'll get the day rolling. Let's rip. 4 eggs, and it's about 3.5 ounces of this honey turkey from Applegate Farms. Super great combo here. We got that, and then we got toasting up like 100 grams of sourdough bread, and then you already know we're gonna throw a little bit of love on top, a little bit of honey here. 4 eggs, 3.5 ounces of turkey, 100 grams of the sourdough, like 20 grams of honey on top. This is always my go-to breakfast. Have this every morning, pretty basic. It's like, I know what to expect. You get some carbs, but mostly a good amount of protein, about 50 grams of protein. Start the day with a good amount of protein, you know, it feeds into the rest of the day. So eat this up, get on with the day. All right. So hopefully you can hear me. Sorry, I broke, both of my mics I broke in the last like 2 weeks, which is weird. So I need to get them fixed. So I'll talk nice and close. But anyways, I'm at the field, a little chilly, I'm about to rip some sprints. So today's Wednesday's training day. I sprint, and then I got a pull workout later today, which will be both, it's an amazing day because you get to sprint. Sprinting is the most fun thing on earth, running fast, being explosive, and then you get a sick back pump later in the day. It's kind of my favorite combo of late. I actually ended up straining my back probably like 10 days ago, and I haven't been able to do, I wasn't able to sprint at all last week and haven't been able to do much lower body stuff. I was able to do like a machine-based lower body day last week, but I haven't been able to like squat or really load my spine or clean or jump. So I still definitely feel it. I've been stretching a ton every day, and it's one of those that obviously will go away with rest, but it's feeling better today. I'm really hoping I can sprint and be able to hit legs tomorrow. I could be just digging myself into a deeper grave, but I haven't sprinted in a week, and that's the longest, or 10 days. I haven't sprinted since, it's a Wednesday, since the Sunday prior. That's the longest I've gone without sprinting in like 8 years. So, you know, I always sprint twice a week. I love sprinting. It's, you know, it's fun getting outside of the gym and doing something different, go into a field. I always sprint on turf or grass, but also track's great. So getting into that. Also, I got some new toys today, boys. I'm fired up. I'm gonna show them. They're the OVR sprints, if you're familiar with them. They're timing gates. I can finally time my sprints. I've been sprinting religiously for like 8 years now, and I've only had periods where I've gotten to time my sprints. When I was an intern at William Mary, when I worked at this D1 facility, they had timing gates, and I got to use here and there, but I haven't gotten to consistently use them in about 2 years. And, you know, I've been sprinting, and I'm just so excited to use them. So I'll show them. OVR is also like, if you're watching my lower body days, whenever I do the jumps and I have those little sensors, it's the same company that makes those. They're dope. People there are super cool. They sent me these as well as the jumps. I'm super fortunate to get to use them and be using them a ton in the future. So I'll show them as we get into it, but warm up, go through some dynamic drills, and then very much stretch out a lot today, get some plyos, and then I'm gonna time my 10-yard split. So I'm gonna do a 10-yard build into a 10-yard fly, such as a 20-yard sprint, but getting this last 10 seconds or 10 yards, 30 yards sprint, getting the last 10 yards, and then a 40-yard sprint, getting the last 10 yards. I'm so excited. Let's rip.
I heard you died out and shine with my mother's ring on your hand. A note in your pocket said I love you till I die. I can hear the bulls are coming to claim that they've been hunting. The son of a cowboy came to claim his daddy's right. And my baby, she's been crying at the thought of me dying. She knows there's no stopping a man and his foolish pride. So open the gates, I'm here to prove I'm better than my father was and where he came from too.
All right. So just finished ripping those sprints. Times weren't the fastest ever, but hey, room to improve. That's all that matters. Super stoked to have those OVRs. They make some sick stuff. I've got the sensors from them, the jump sensors. I got those now. They also have this velocity unit that you can attach to a barbell. So definitely check them out. I actually have a discount code. It's Dylan. I believe you can save $25 on an order. So anyways, one thing I wanted to talk about, and I probably sound like a broken record because I've talked about this quite a bit at length, has been binge eating. So obviously, full day of eating today. I'm kind of going to have to change my nutritional approach, at least for the next month, if not 2-3 months. I think for me, I've talked a lot about binge eating. So I've been a binge eater for a couple years now, but I noticed it started getting worse and worse back in like July, early August. And so about 5 months ago, so I've been binge eating like probably once a week, twice a week. And then I recently got prescribed a medication about 6 weeks ago. It definitely had seemed like it was helping, and I'd gone like 23 days without binge eating. Actually, my last video I think I just ended up binge eating. But now I've ended up binge eating 4 times in the last like 11 days. So a little frustrating. It's one of those things I know a lot of people struggle with. And I don't want to sound like, everything's great. My life's great. I'm super fortunate. Obviously, eating disorders are a little frustrating. They're probably not talked a lot about in fitness and nutrition. But one thing that was cool is like sharing this binge eating thing. A lot of people have reached out who have also used to binge eat or currently binge eat. And I think one thing that's been cool is like, if you're like me and maybe you're binge eating now, to me in my head, I feel like binge eating is always going to be creeping in the shadows for the rest of my life, for as long as I live. Like, maybe I go 30 days without binging, maybe I end up going 3 months, but it's always going to be there. And that's what kind of scares me. But I've had a lot of people reach out and they're like, I used to be a binge eater all the time, and it's been years since I last binge ate. So it's cool to hear that it's something that can be worked on and can go away. And obviously it takes effort and takes time. So I think that's a big thing. I think one thing I say that is because over the last like almost 2 years, I've kind of been this cutting mind frame. I'm like, I gotta be lean. Not to say I've been cutting for 2 years straight, but I've been trying to essentially cut. So, I've been almost yo-yoing for the last like 6 months, where I've been like cutting, going back and forth between like 198 and like 208. And it's kind of been frustrating, but the reason is because I keep thinking I have to get leaner and leaner, and one of the reasons is social media. Obviously, it's, through my experience at least, it's very advantageous to be lean. The leaner you can get, it seems like the more followers you get, the more clout, which probably not a great way to live your life is off that. I obviously realize that. Still new to social media, but it's been about almost 2 years. So I think I'm starting to kind of learn that. Like, obviously, you don't have to be lean 24/7. Like, pro bodybuilders aren't lean 24/7. It's not healthy to be lean 24/7. So I think that's something I'm starting to realize. It's like, I don't think people are going to unfollow me if I'm 13% body fat versus 8% body fat. And if they do, then I probably don't really care if they follow me in the first place. So I think it's one big thing I got to like accept is like, you don't have to keep cutting all the time. Like in my head, I'm like, I want to get 8%. I want to get 7% body fat. Cause it's like, when I was like 8 to 9% body fat this summer, I saw a huge growth in followers on Instagram. I'm sure there's a reasoning behind that. So I keep thinking the leaner I can get, the better it could be. But just like anything in life, there is seasons of it. So I think for now, it's wintertime. It's December. Who the hell cares about being lean right now? Who the hell cares about being lean in December, January, February, March? So why am I caring so much to be like the difference between like 208 and 195? It's like, yeah, it's 13 pounds. And it's probably like 5% body fat, but it's like, I'm the only one who's really going to notice those changes, and we could still reach that. Like, you don't have to get lean till the summertime. So I think that's another thing is like, kind of like going through the seasons. Like, obviously people bulk and cut for a reason. Like, you can't just do one all the time. You can't just be lean 24/7. So I think that's something I'm accepting a little bit. And the reason I've been yo-yoing, I think binge eating so much, is because I keep thinking I have to get lean. So I binge eat, and then I'm like, shit, I just binge ate. So now I restrict calories. I go back into a cut. And then I'm so depleted because I train so much. I'm obviously under fueling so much. I binge eat, and that just brings me back up to maintenance calories. And then cut, binge eat, back to maintenance, cut, binge eat. So that's why I've been yo-yoing between like this 10-pound range. And I think what I'm going to show in this video is I've been eating around 2,900 calories, which my maintenance calories is honestly around like 35, 36. Just because, I'm training usually twice a day. I'm getting at least 13,000 steps a day. I try to move as much as possible. So I've been under fueling for so long. So, I'll eat 2,900 calories for 10 days and I'll binge eat and eat 8,000 calories. So now I'm back to maintenance. So what I'm going to do is moving forward, at least for the next month, 2-3 months, I'm just going to eat my maintenance calories. I'm going to aim for 3,500 calories today. I'm going to aim for that moving forward.
I'm probably not going to weigh myself for a little bit of time. Like, I think that's a big thing too. There's some days I'll weigh myself in the morning and it will almost ruin my morning. And I have to like catch myself, be like, bro, it's a weight. It's not the end of the, it's not a big deal. So I'm probably just going to have my weight scale, not hide it, but not have it where I can look at it, because I think sometimes that's a mental burden. So I actually did this last year. Funny story, I actually got so frustrated one day when I weighed myself, I actually just picked up my scale and threw it, and it shattered everywhere. Honestly, one of the best things ever, because I didn't weigh myself for like 5 weeks because I didn't want to buy a scale. And guess what? Mentally, I felt fine, and my weight stayed the same, and it was fine. So I think getting less obsessive. I think there's so much data you can track, and data is great, and I love tracking data, but sometimes it can be overbearing and it can do more harm than good. So stuff like that, especially it's the holiday times. I'll tell you what, one thing I also struggle with my nutrition, it will be October time, and I'll be mentally super anxious about Christmas time, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna eat all this bad food, and this will be in October. I'll be stressing about it. I'm like, how am I going to manage my macros around that time? And it's like, if I'm stressing that much 2 months in advance, clearly something's wrong. And I know I've had this eating disorder for a little bit, and a lot of people struggle with it. And I'm glad I'm shining a little more light on it, because it seems like a lot of other people can kind of relate to it. So this is going to be my strategy moving forward. Obviously, I'm not going to like get out of shape or anything. Like, I'm just going to eat maintenance calories. And I like where my body's at right now. Like, I'm getting strong. Like, my squat, bench, deadlift's going up. And that's another thing. It's like, my goal's kind of late. I'm always going to be performance-based. Like, I always want to sprint, jump, lift heavy. But it's been more aesthetic, has been more of the focus over the last 2 years. My best training has come when I cared more about like, all right, what am I squatting? What am I benching? How fast am I running? And it's gonna be really fun for my training over the next couple months, just really focusing on that and be like, let's get to that 585-pound squat I've been wanting to hit. Let's clean up our clean and maybe hit 365. Let's hit a 4 or 5 pound bench again. I think that will be really fun, and that will really drive my training. And because I keep going through these ebbs and flows where I'm cutting, I'll be in a 4-week block and I'll start really good the first 2 weeks, and then the cut kind of reaches up to me and I start getting weaker, and then I plateau in that binge eat. So let's put training as the main focus moving forward. It's what, December 17th today? December, January, February. Why am I in any rush to get lean? You know, who cares about that? So I just want to put that out there, because my food, it's got to change moving forward. Guess what? You know what the classic quote is? Nothing changes if nothing changes. So if I keep binge eating and then I just go back to what I was doing, cutting, and then I binge eating, obviously the binge eating is also caused by me putting myself in this big deficit, overtraining, and then obviously your body's just at one point just going to reject you and be like, no, bro, you're going to eat more. So what's the quote about insanity? It's like doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I think I got that right. Usually I butcher quotes all the time. Just drop 2 quotes on you, boys. Come on now. And girls. Sorry, boys and girls. But anyways, so yeah, we will be smarter with our nutrition. We will not care as much how we look aesthetically, because why does it matter how you look in December time? We're going to really focus on our training and make that our highlight. Hitting numbers. I love being numbers driven. I think that's a really fun way to train. Is like, shit, I want to hit a 4 or 5 bench. Let's hit that, you know, and having that goal, working up towards it. So long little spiel here, but I feel like that's something I've had to change. And I know I've talked a lot about binge eating on this channel, and I will continue to do so, because it seems like a lot of people struggle with it. And I think, again, nothing changes. You know, I've gotten prescribed a medication, doesn't seem to help a lot. Maybe it will help more if I'm not eating in a deficit all the time and being so obsessed with food. Oh my gosh, I just think about food 24/7. I'm going out to eat with friends, or I'm going to see my parents. I'm like white knuckling. I'm like, how many calories are in that? How can I guesstimate that? And it's like, it's not a healthy way to live. And you know, it's probably pretty common in like bodybuilding aesthetic stuff. Like, obviously a lot of people go through that. So it's kind of like that realization. It's like, there's seasons of this. Like, come summertime, hell yeah, I'll get back into a cut and I want to look sick. But you can't be doing that 24/7. So long little spiel there. Hopefully I covered everything I wanted to in my head. I believe I did. Also, one thing I gotta address real quick. I realize I always say boys in my videos. I always say, oh, what's up, boys? What's up, fellas? And I apologize to all my female subscribers. You know, I owe you an apology, because I've had a couple reach out through Instagram, DM me like, hey, I'm one of your female subscribers. You always say boys, but I want to get jacked and athletic too. I watch your videos. So I very much apologize for always saying boys. I will make sure I start saying guys as a figure of speech. I don't mean guys as in boys, guys as in, you know, I think it depends where you grew up in the U.S. I always say you guys as opposed to like y'all, or I think some people say yous or whatever. But I'll start saying what's up, guys, or you guys, stuff like that, because I apologize. I always say boys, but I'm excluding my My female subscriber base, which is growing, the reason I always said boys was because I think one time I looked at my YouTube demographics, it was 99% male. And I looked at it recently and it's now like 5%. So I appreciate all the female subscribers who are growing. Everyone wants to get, it's just a training channel. It's just me showing me workouts. So I don't want to be sexist and exclude, obviously, the girls. So I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate the guys who watch my channel. Appreciate everyone. I'm super fortunate. Anyways, we'll get on with this day. This is probably a 11-minute spiel. I hope you listen to that because I hope it's important, but I'm long-winded. We'll get on to the next clip. Look at that. We're talking clean carbs. We got double rice. We got chicken and steak. I know, I got big spender over here. I went double meat, and then I go as many fajita veggies as they're willing to give me. I ask for extra, and then I usually ask for more after that. Now, it depends on if they're kind of look irritated, I'll just go with what they give me. But if they're willing to stack it on, they stack it on. She did today. Then we got corn, mild, medium, and I think that's it. So I keep pretty basic when I go Chipotle. I usually just ask for single rice, but if you ever get a bowl from Chipotle, they usually always give you double rice because they always want to fill the bottom part. So that's something to be mindful of. If you are tracking your calories, I know it's a little obsessive, but a lot of times they'll end up giving you 2 scoops. So I always track it as 2 scoops. And then everything else, the double meats, the corn, the extra fajitas, all of this and that. It's probably, and I'll put the calories up, but I imagine it's around at least around 800 something calories, but a good amount of protein. So excited to eat this. Also, Chipotle is the best bang for your buck. For this amount of food, this was like $14, which I know it's a little bit up there because I got double meat. But you go to Kava, you go to freaking Roots, you go to, what's the other one? Sweet Green, you're gonna spend like $20. So Chipotle slander, not tolerated on this channel, I'll tell you that much. We'll eat this up. I also, on the way here, I stopped at the grocery store and I had 2 rice cakes. What do you call them? I haven't had them in a minute, but they caught my eye. 2 of those caramel rice. They're rice cakes, right? It was like 50 calories, so 100 calories there. So I'll include that in my totals, but we'll eat this up. All right, about to head to the gym. Pre-workout, real quick. We're going the Favage. What is this, Dragon's Blood? Lion's Blood. This one's pretty good. It's like a coconut strawberry. I actually hadn't had it in a bit. I've been having either strawberry, kiwi, orange, or raspberry creamsicle, but this is one of my faves. We will go just under 2 scoops. So this is a 2-scooper formula. 2 scoops of this, 260 milligrams of caffeine, 6 grams of L-citrulline, 3.2 grams of beta-alanine. It also has the alpha GPC, as well as a variety of other ones. So the Favage is a little more, it has more in it than like the Essential Pre. Usually like the beta-alanine, L-citrulline is a little higher. So I won't add the pump to this. I'm just gonna go this by itself, double scoop. I'll sip this on the way to the gym. Also, I'm pretty damn full from that last meal, but I got these rice cakes. I haven't had rice cakes in forever, but I went to the grocery store and they caught my eye. I had 2 of these after I sprinted. I'm just gonna have 2 more right now. So it's 100 calories, 22 carb, just a little bit of something because I just like eating something before I go to the gym. It's obviously carbs are good for fueling. I wanna make sure I feel good, but also like kind of mentally knowing I ate, because I ate like 2 hours ago and it would be like 2.5 hours in between. I like having some within like an hour because it kind of like, if I'm in the gym for 2+ hours, I definitely will feel good towards the end. So I have 2 of those and then let's get ripping. We're gonna do a back day today. Probably just go straight into it. I'll do a voiceover for that because my mics again are broken. We'll get into it, it'll be a fun one. All right, getting into this back day. I actually started with cleans today, so this is something I'm kind of experimenting with. Usually I always Olympic lift on my lower body days, but again, I kind of tweaked my back, so I wasn't able to hit this on Monday, so kind of want to throw them here. I might keep it in here moving forward to kind of, spread out my lower body volume, so it's not so much in one day. I'll probably have one lower body day where I keep them and then maybe do these on a pull day. But anyways, I'm really trying to work on my catch. I have a tendency to pull the bar really high and drop under it, and then I lose my front rack. So I did a power clean plus full clean combo. So the first one I'm catching in that power position above 90 degrees, and the second one I'm catching into a full clean. It's kind of working on like bar timing, which I'm really bad at, especially on the full clean. Again, I pull it so high, but I'm already dropping into the squat. So end up doing 4 sets there, 1+1, and then got into the back day. So weighted pull-ups, arcane, 3 working sets here, the first 2 sets in that 6 to 8 range, and then I dropped the weight about 25 pounds and ripped out a set of like 8 to 10. So I ended up getting 3 sets in that 6 to 10 range, each set going 0 reps of reserve, just trying to get a full range of motion, full lockout at the bottom. And then my gym just got 2 of these mega mass machines, this T-bar row, and then actually on the other side there's this seated row one that's sick. This one is the best T-bar row I've ever used because the weight kind of stays upright the whole time. So damn smooth. Did 3 sets there, 8 to 10 range. So I started with a vertical pull with the pull-ups, and I got into a chest supported row, a horizontal pull, and then I've been throwing in these high rows, which I really, really like. I did a single arm today. I usually do them double arm, but I really like the single arm to kind of isolate one side at a time. Focus here, big stretch, squeezing at the bottom. Just did 2 sets here. So something recently I've been doing is doing 2 sets on some movements. Usually I always go 3 to 4 sets. But I'm thinking this back day, I have 4 movements in there, 3 sets of pull-ups, 3 sets of chest supported rows, 2 sets of the high rows, and then 2 sets of pullovers. That's 10 total working sets for my back, which, might be a little higher volume, but I like going a little higher volume, and I feel like I get good intent out of each exercise. So those high rows, a new one I've kind of been throwing in and playing around with. Because on a typical back day, I like getting usually 2 vertical movements and then 2 horizontal movements. Or maybe a vertical, a horizontal, a pullover. Just trying to hit the back from different angles. And I think I'm spoiled at the gym I go to. Their back day arsenal is unbelievable. If you ever come to RVA Iron and if you're looking for one muscle to train, I would go for a back day because the machine next to me is unbelievable. The 2 mega mass machines they have are crazy, and they have some other ones. So I've been really trying to focus on my back width because I've realized from an aesthetic standpoint, I kind of lack width, that and shoulder width. So that's something I'm trying to bring up. And so doing 2 back days a week, kind of changing my split a little bit from that legs, chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs, push, pull to just a full legs, push, pull, legs, push, pull. I don't know why legs, push, pull gets a hate. I think it's a fantastic split. You hit everything twice a week. You can really focus on the big muscle groups and get nasty pumps. So that's what I'm doing moving forward. Went for the most high rows to these straight arm pull downs, which I freaking love. I like doing it with an easy bar more than a rope. I just feel like I get better leverage and a better grip, and I can really squeeze at the bottom. Again, another where I did 2 sets there, 8 to 10 range. And then for biceps, my favorite bicep variation is an incline curl. I set the bench in between like a 45 and 60 degree incline. So 45 I always feel like it's just too deep, and a 60 I'm a little too upright. So this is the perfect combo for me where I can get that full lockout, that full stretch at the bottom. And I really am trying to focus on these is not swinging. When I used to watch it from the side, I would always like move my shoulder and be swinging a lot. So I'm really focusing on just curling from the bicep, trying to not use too much shoulder. Maybe on the last rep or 2 I am, but like dropping the weight a little bit and really focus on that. 3 sets there, 8 to 10, and then I finish with just some reverse flies. So I like doing rear delts at the end, just 2 sets. 10 to 12 range. So full back day there. Obviously I threw cleans in there, which I'm gonna kind of experiment with. I've done in the past where I do cleans on my pull day. I kind of like it. I might just keep them on my lower day, but for the most part, the back workout, you had pull-ups, you had 2 row variations, you had a pullover variation, the biceps and rear delts, every set just going hard, keeping it simple. So overall, a good pull day. Again, back is something I'm really trying to bring up. So I'm trying to focus on that and really getting good volume throughout the week. So 10 sets of back, 3 sets of biceps, 2 sets of rear delts. Good overall day. From the gym, you guys are back in the cabinet. But anyways, we're gonna go post-workout meal. We got the best yogurt out there, which is the Chobani 2% milk, I believe. We'll go probably 2 servings of this, so 380 grams, which would be 40 grams of protein. And then I'm gonna throw in some almond butter, 1 tablespoon of this, and then probably like 20 grams of honey. So we'll see what it looks like. All right, mix it up. Pretty damn good. Good mixture right here. So post-workout meal, I still have like 1,100 calories, 1,200 calories. So we eat some good stuff, but this looks pretty good. All right, you guys are back in the cabinet. This is my new spot for my camera in my kitchen. It's the only spot I can really hold it because it zooms in so much. But anyways, we got dinner. It's about 8 o'clock. I hit the Tinto Express. Also, if you're groaning in the background, I'm watching dudes work out on YouTube. But anyways, I got the rest of my steps in. I usually like get home from the gym, edit all my content, post, and then I'll go for a walk in between like doing that and dinner. So I just try to get the rest of my steps in. 13,000 steps is what I'm like aiming for each day. So that's what I got today. It's therapeutic to kind of walk for like 45 to 60 minutes. It's not too cold out. So got the steps in. Now we got dinner right here. You can probably barely see it, but I got chicken in this pan here. I got 4 tortillas right here, and then I'm gonna throw, I've been eating this wrap, it's been really good. Pickles, these sweet pickles from Kroger, super good. And then the honey mustard. It's essentially just like a chicken wrap, but by golly, is it good. All right, so meal right here, last meal of the day, we got 11 ounces of grilled chicken. We got 4 ounces of the sweet pickles. We got like 40 grams of this honey mustard and 2 of these tortillas, just regular tortillas from like Kroger, I think. I'll put the final calories on the screen. But anyways, wrap the video up here. Really, overall message I got to ingrain in my brain right now is, in order to solve this binge eating, or at least get better with it, I got to change something. Nothing changes, so I can't just keep going where I binge eat and then go back to a deficit, because that's obviously been the root cause of why I keep binge eating. So like I said, I'm gonna move my focus. You know, I'm still obviously I care about how my physique looks, but I don't have to be so focused on like getting super shredded right now. Again, it's December. Who the hell cares if you're shredded in December? No one cares. So really focus on the training. It'll be fun because I can really like, obviously I'm always focused on my training, but you know, I can really actually be like, all right, this extra food, it's going towards squatting heavier, jumping higher, sprinting, benching heavier, hitting some cool numbers. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I think I'm around like 3,400 calories today. Honestly, I'm gonna try to hit that each day, even if I have to kind of like, it feels weird to say force feed myself, but I gotta get used to eating more calories and just fueling myself, because that's what I gotta do. So nothing changes. That's the new game plan moving forward. So that's a full day of eating, kind of some training there. But yeah, good day. Christmas is coming up. I mean, I'll have a video up before Christmas, but if not, hope everyone has a great Christmas. Otherwise, stack damn days. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.